Hello, beautiful people. Aloha, and welcome to this new episode of Touchful Podcast. I'm taking a breath. I'm smiling. And I'm getting ready to talk with you today about something that deeply fascinates me, which is feelings and emotions. And really, truly, deeply feeling your emotions. I would like to share with you today a story and a practice that I do daily, something that really changed the way I feel my feelings. It changed the way I approach my emotions. It changed the way I approach life. And I will invite you for a contemplation today. And maybe we will even do this practice together. We will see. We will see how this episode unfolds. But first, I am putting my hand on my heart and I want to say thank you for being here, for choosing to spend a moment of your life with me. I'm taking a breath and I allow myself to feel you, to really feel your heart. And I invite you to do the same. If you only can, put your hand on your heart. Take a breath. And let's feel each other, that we meet in this present moment. And it feels like an honor, and it is extreme joy, and it's humbling, and it's beautiful, and it's inspiring to be able to meet you in this today. The title of today's episode is You Are Bigger. And it is a practice of getting bigger, practice that I do every day. And it all started a couple of months ago. So it was November 2023. It was shortly after I had moved to the place where I live now, to my dream place, to my dream house. And it was both very beautiful time, but also quite overwhelming time. Maybe you know this feeling that something that you want so much and dream about, it comes true. And it both feels like the most natural thing, of course, that it comes true, and it at the same time feels like the most overwhelming thing. So I was at that place with myself at that time, and I remember that I went for a walk. And I was walking on these vast open fields. For those of you who don't know, I live in Iceland, so there is lots of open spaces here, especially in the countryside. And where I live, it's just the most breathtaking and amazing and beautiful nature. And I ended up in this place that is considered a little bit magical. That there are many places in Iceland which are considered like these special energy places. And regardless if you believe it or not, I kind of really feel that, I don't know, there's something different about these places. Like the air is different there. Anyhow, I ended up in one of these places and I was just walking and just feeling all kinds of feelings that were going through me at the time. And suddenly I got this wave of inspiration for a project, something that felt super big at that time, something that felt amazing, but at the same time like, whoa. And I got that wave of inspiration, I got that spark of inspiration, and first I got so excited, but then I started to feel the contraction coming. Metaphorical contraction, energetical contraction, but also physical contraction of my body. After this initial excitement of this beautiful idea and amazing project, I started to feel the contraction, and I started to, get these thoughts like, that's too much, who am I, it's not gonna work. And I started to feel the overwhelm and the fear and the doubt, and I started to feel so small. And then I looked around into this vast open space, seeing mountains on one side, seeing ocean on the other side, really feeling the magic of the place where I was, really feeling the sparks of energy in the air. And that was the moment when a sentence landed in me. And it really felt as if somebody whispered that sentence to my ear. And that sentence was the one that is the title of today's episode. You are bigger. And I took a breath in, and I took that sentence in, and I started to repeat it to myself like a mantra. You are bigger. You are bigger than this. And suddenly there was more space inside me. And the fear was still there, and the doubt, and the stress, and the overwhelm. All this was still there, but it all felt so tiny compared to this vast space inside me. And that day changed my life in a sense that this sentence, you are bigger, it became like a mantra to me. It became like a reminder, and it became my daily practice of expansion, practice of opening, practice of relaxing myself and reminding myself that I am bigger than my emotions. I am bigger than my fears. I am bigger than my doubts. I am bigger than jealousy. I am bigger than disappointment. I am bigger than anger. I am bigger than anything. And I want you to understand, I want to explain myself how huge a change this has become for me. So I was always, since I could remember, I was a very emotional person, a very emotional child, a very, very emotional teenager, a very emotional young woman, and I still am a very emotional person. But throughout my childhood and my teenage years and my early 20s and even up to my early 30s, emotions, they felt like something that just takes me over, like this huge wave that comes on me like millions of tons of water just crushing on me and pressing me to the bottom of the ocean until I can't breathe and I feel that I'm drowning. That's how emotions very often felt for me. Usually these difficult emotions, but sometimes also these seemingly beautiful emotion when there was like a lot of joy, a huge success that also felt like a big overwhelm to me. And I would so very often end up feeling so tiny, like a speck of dust in this endless ocean of emotions pressing on me and making me feel like I'm drowning. And it was always like this. It used to be always like this. But at the same time, I could always feel that there is some gift in the emotions. That it's not about numbing them. It's not about suppressing them. But there has to be some other way. There has to be something different than numbing the emotions or being completely crushed by them. Because these were the only two options that I knew at some point of my life. Either I was just not allowing myself to feel, not allowing myself to go through all the emotions, just really suppressing them, freezing them, numbing them, overeating or drinking to numb myself, not to feel because it felt like a danger. Or when I was allowing myself to feel, then I would just end up completely crushed and just overtaken by these emotions. And very often I would do things or I would say things that I later was regretting because I did them or I said them under the influence of emotions. And yet I could feel that there is something, there is some gem, there is some beauty, there is some treasure in the emotions, and they were always fascinating me to the point where first I started to study psychology, and then when I stopped being a psychologist after some time, I still would proceed with some sort of work that was around humans' emotions. So what I do now, it is body work, it is Hawaiian healing. And my favorite part of this body work is emotional work, the armoring, helping people to feel themselves, helping people to tap into their true, beautiful, radiant, amazing, relaxed, healthy, abundant, authentic selves. And my way of doing it now is through practicing and teaching Hawaiian healing. But you see what I'm trying to say? That I always could feel that there was something so potent about the emotions. And I still am on this journey of discovering what it is, but I feel that something has changed, something profound has happened for me on that day when this sentence landed in me. And with that sentence, I feel like I got some download. I got a key to how to feel the emotions without the need to suppress them or numb them, and without the feeling that they just take me over. And that key for me became practicing getting bigger than anything. And my feeling right now is that I don't need to get rid of something in order not to feel it. I don't need to numb it. I don't need to suppress it. I can actually bring it closer. I can take it in. I can bring it into my heart and make my heart bigger than anything. Make myself bigger than anything, and allow myself to feel everything that I'm feeling, and to feel that there is space for all of this inside my heart that is bigger than anything. I want to give you an example, a very fresh one from yesterday. Something happened yesterday for me that really brought up a lot of emotions, a lot of difficult emotions, a lot of crying, a lot of anxiety, a lot of doubt. And with these emotions, there also came all kinds of these intrusive thoughts that I sometimes get, this like really nasty inner dialogue that I just, hear these voices yapping inside my head, that I am this and I am that and I am small and I am insignificant, and this mixture of emotions and thoughts really creates this wave, a wave that would, in the past, it would just crush on me, and I would just feel like that was exactly the feeling, that I'm drowning, that it's horrible, that it will never end. But yesterday, it felt completely different. I felt the wave of fear and pain and anxiety and doubt. And I could feel it rising. I was like, okay, this comes. I'm gonna feel it. And a very simple practice that I do in these moments is that I allow myself to feel all this wherever it is. I very often feel it in my heart, sometimes I feel it in my belly, but I mostly focus on my heart. And just with my breath, I allow my heart, I imagine my heart growing, getting bigger, that my heart is opening, making space for all these emotions to be felt. And this is exactly what I did yesterday. And did these emotions disappear? No, absolutely not. I ended up crying and feeling the fear, and I even ended up having a panic attack, which doesn't happen often, but happens sometimes. But it still felt like all this fear and anxiety and doubt and panic attack and crying, that it was all happening inside me, inside my heart. So I got this feeling, which is a little bit of a, excuse my language, a little bit of a mindfuck. When you feel all the feelings, you feel the pain and the anxiety, and at the same time, you feel deep peace and connection. You feel that the wave, the tornado, the whole ocean is inside you, inside your heart. So I had the moments when the waves were getting bigger and I could feel the fear getting stronger, and I was like, oh no, it's never gonna end. It's just like it's gonna crush me. And then I was remembering this sentence like a mantra: you are bigger than this, Magdalena. You are bigger than this. This emotion is inside you. You can take a breath, and that's what I would do. And feel it all the way. Feel the wave and ride that wave beautifully, like you would surf on it. And that's what I did. And then after some time it ended. After a moment of crying and meeting the fear and expanding my heart and breathing deeper and crying more and meeting more anxiety and reminding myself that I am bigger than this, it just ended. Because that is the nature of emotions. They just end. And they end even faster when they are met, when they are felt, when they are really experienced. Then they just end. Like a storm or like a bad weather. But what stays and what stayed with me yesterday, and I still can feel it, is this deep feeling of peace and the feeling of invincibility and the feeling of vulnerability. And it's in moments like this that I understand that vulnerability truly is a superpower. That I feel like I have a superpower. I feel that there is nothing in this world that can crush me. And some moments are hard. Even today, some thoughts came to me, and then they evoked some emotions, and then these thoughts started to spin in my head, and I could feel the anxiety rising. And with the anxiety, there comes this contraction. Again, the physical contraction of the body, but it also feels like this energetical contraction, like just freezing. And the moment I feel it, I'm like, okay, this comes. I can feel it. It's okay. It will not take me over. Maybe these emotions were taking me over when I was little and I didn't know what to do with them. Maybe they were taking me over when I was a teenager and I didn't know what to do with them, or in my 20s. But now I have so much more experience, so much more knowledge, so much more wisdom, that I am bigger than this. And what is the most beautiful for me, and what I want you to understand, what I want to explain, is that it is not suppressing the emotions. It is not ignoring them. It is not looking elsewhere. I would say it's the completely opposite thing. It's really feeling them fully inside me, and that makes the whole difference. And actually, only now, when I am practicing this, because I'm still learning this, there are sometimes still moments when the emotions take me over, or when it takes me really a long time to feel that I am bigger than this emotion, that this emotion happens inside me. I'm still learning this and exploring this and practicing this. But I feel that only now I feel so safe with myself. I feel safe with my emotions. And as I'm saying these words, I feel like crying. I feel tears coming to my eyes, and they're happy tears. They're tears of celebration, because it reminds me of so many moments when I felt small, when I felt insignificant, when I felt that this 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 huge, big, dangerous world is coming and just crushing on me. And still I could feel, as I shared with you already, I could feel that there has to be a different way, that there is something there. And I feel that I spent years on various practices, meditations, contemplations, yoga, body work, all kinds of healing, to come to this very simple truth, that I am bigger, that I am bigger than this. My heart is bigger. And when I say I don't mean the little human. I don't mean the human part of me, but I mean this part of me that is, I almost want to say that this part of me that is eternal. I feel that the part of me, the place in me that feels bigger, that this place is just love itself, and love itself is bigger than anything. Because in my world, in the way I understand the world, is that love is this universal power, and that the whole universe is made of it. So of course that I am bigger than anything. That love in me is bigger than anything. Maybe that is the reason why I take this practice to my heart. I imagine my heart getting bigger, my heart expanding, my heart growing to the point where it becomes bigger than any emotion, any thought. And this has become my daily practice, the practice of expansion. Whenever I feel that something arises in me, something that contracts me, something that feels like stress, something that feels like too much, something that feels like overwhelm, something that makes me feel so small, I immediately take this to my heart, and I remind myself that there is a place in me that is always open, and that this place in me can get even bigger. This love in me can get even bigger, even when it hurts, even when it feels that I want to hide and disappear, and when I feel shame, or when I feel anger, when I feel jealousy, when I feel lonely or abandoned, that I ask myself, can I just take this to my heart? And sometimes I can, and it works beautifully. Sometimes it takes hours, sometimes it doesn't work at all, but it is a practice for me, and it is a practice that I'm dedicated to, because I feel how it is changing the quality of my life, the quality of my relationships, and how different this practice is to anything that I was doing before. How instead of pushing things away because I don't want to feel it, I allow myself to feel it even more, because I feel safe with myself. And each time I do this, I feel more and more safe with myself. And there is something so beautiful for me with this idea that I don't need to get rid of any emotion. I don't need to push anything out, but I can take it in and feel it, and feel that I am bigger than this. And it is, in a way, a very radical practice. It is about radical responsibility, radical honesty with myself, radical love, love that is bigger than anything, love that takes everything that feels unlovable and transforms it into love. And that's how this practice feels for me, that I feel like there is this big transformator in my heart. And whatever I put in with an intention of expanding to feel it, opening myself up to feel it, whatever I put in, after some time, what I am left with is just a little bit more love, a little bit more trust, a little bit more awe, a little bit more beauty, a little bit more appreciation. And I'm not sure if I found the good words to explain to you what happens in me and how I experience this. But maybe I did. Maybe, hopefully, even a little bit of what I shared is inspirational for you. And I'm thinking how we could have this together. Maybe I could just share this with you practically, how I do it. Maybe we can have a little practice together. So if you want to join for the practice, then I wholeheartedly invite you. And I recommend doing it in a moment when you can sit and close your eyes and have a moment for yourself, just a couple of minutes. So maybe not when you're driving a car. So if you want to stay with me for the practice, then I wholeheartedly invite you and thank you very much. And if you don't want to or cannot stay for the practice, then I want to say thank you for today and thank you so much for being here and listening. So let's do a little bit of a practice together, a practice of expansion, a practice of getting bigger. Sit in a comfortable way, a position that feels comfortable for you and at the same time that it feels graceful and full of dignity. Your back can be supported by something or not, but just find the comfort and gracefulness in you. Feel that you are sitting between the earth and the sky in your rightful place. And just start by taking a couple of breaths, whatever they are right now, however they feel. And feel that the breaths are softening you, softening the front part of your body, softening your chest, softening your belly, softening your face. And take all your awareness, all your attention into your heart. So simply focus on your chest, on your heart. Wherever you put your focus, this is where your energy goes. So feel that your heart is filling up with your energy as you place your focus there. And allow yourself to feel or simply to imagine that your heart is getting a little bigger with every inhale and a little more relaxed with every exhale. And again, a little bit bigger with inhale little softer with the exhale. And if you want to, you can repeat this to yourself. You can say it to yourself. You can remind yourself, I am bigger. My heart is growing. My heart is expanding. And whatever I feel right now, I can put it in my heart. I can feel it in my heart. And if it feels huge, if it feels overwhelming, then I can just take another breath. I can take my time to remember that I am bigger. No emotion is bigger than me. No thought is bigger than me. Nothing is bigger than my ever-loving heart. Nothing is bigger than the love in my heart. And feel your heart expanding, growing, and opening up. If you want to, you can even imagine that there is a doorway in your heart, a portal, a door that opens up with every inhale. And that your heart is ready to welcome everything. And that you can feel it. And if you will feel like crying or laughing or shaking, it's fine. You don't need to suppress it. But feel that whatever comes, whether it's tears or anger or joy or gratitude or fear or jealousy, whatever it is, that it is just welcomed inside your heart. And you can put it in your heart, and there is still plenty of space. Plenty of space. Vast, endless, huge space. You are bigger, dear one. You are bigger than this world. You are life itself. You are all the love. You carry it inside your heart. And this practice is simply remembering that you are bigger. You are bigger than the contraction. If you feel the contraction right now, that's okay, you can feel it. But feel that your openness is greater than your closure. That your contraction, your closure, it can go inside your open heart. And if you want to, you can move a little bit or a lot to the sides or in circles to physically make more space. You are bigger. And once more, take a breath. And exhale with sound. You are growing, you are bigger. Practice this. Remind yourself this. Train this. Live like this. Without pretending anything, without suppressing, without ignoring, without numbing. Feeling that you are safe with yourself. You are safe with yourself. Your vulnerability makes you invincible. Your heart is the most invincible thing in the whole universe, and the softest thing in the whole universe. Keep it open and practice opening it up as much as possible, as often as possible, especially when it feels impossible, especially when you feel that, oof, this is too much, I cannot open to this. I promise you that you can. You can open to anything and everything and allow yourself to feel anything and everything. You are bigger. And whenever you feel that the wave is taking you, crushing on you, pressing you to the bottom of the ocean, remind yourself that this wave is so tiny inside your heart. Take all that energy, all these emotions into your heart. And practice this. And practice this especially when it feels easy. Take beautiful things to your heart. Take beautiful moments to your heart, moments of celebration. Allow yourself to feel the joy, the grace, the gratitude, the amazingness, the love, the beauty. Allow yourself to feel it fully. Allow yourself to grow bigger when it's easy. So then, when a storm comes and then it gets more difficult, it will still be easier to feel it. And then you will come to a place when, even if it's bad, it's still good. It's okay. The bad is inside the good. And you can feel the pain. You can feel fear, sadness, longing, disappointment, jealousy, resentment, contraction, all this. Placing it safely inside your big, beautiful, kind, and loving heart. And if you want to share your thoughts with me after listening to this episode, you have my email in the description. And I want to say thank you for you. I take a breath and I feel you in my heart, and I feel all kinds of emotions after recording this episode. Actually, today was surprisingly not the easiest one for me to record. It felt very vulnerable and very exposing, and I can put this in my heart and allow myself to feel that there is a part of me that is afraid of being exposed, is afraid of being seen, and it's okay. That I can feel it. Thank you for you, and I will talk to you sometime soon again. Aloha and bye-bye.